Steven.
Jared.
Steven, why don't we get this clap going first?
Let's do it.
All right, guys. On three. I do this at every mobile RAWtalk that we do, and don't be the first ones to mess it up. It's 1, 2, 3, clap. Not 1, 2, clap. That clap doesn't count as a 3. 1, 2, 3, clap. Are we good on 3? 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Money.
Except for there was one delay one back here. I heard it. Who was
Fail.
it? Unbelievable. Anyway, Steven, how's your Gnip game today?
Yeah, not on
Not on fleek?
not on fleek, not at all.
Your Gnip.
I'm actually sweating really bad because we just had some intense ping pong games.
It wasn't very intense. It was
For me, it was intense.
21-4.
Me?
No, you lost. And then we played to 11. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was fun, but no.
Never really played ping pong. I was more of a beer pong kind of guy.
Yeah, you'd kick my ass at that because I'd be like, I'm not drinking that. I don't like beer.
I do.
Yeah, you do. You brought your own beer today.
I did.
So first off, we have to thank VideoBlocks and Joel for opening up the office here to allow us to come down to Reston, Virginia, to have all of you fine people here for a mobile RAWtalk.
Oh, yeah.
So let's give them a round of applause for letting us do that. That's right. That's amazing clapping. Can everybody hear us? Please say yes. All right, good, because when we start doing larger areas, we're going to have to get that PA to come out.
Some kind of PA system.
Not
yeah.
a personal assistant, but a PA.
Actual.
Wouldn't it
PA
be great?
system.
You have a personal assistant that
Yelling.
they listen, and then they're like, and then they said to turn off the
Jared Poland.
Frodo's. Oh, I didn't do my intro yet.
You didn't do it yet.
Let me do that.
Let's do it.
Jared Poland, Frono's Photo.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 140. This is a mobile RAWtalk live for the people that are here. Not live for you people at home. From Reston, Virginia, at the headquarters of VideoBlocks, AudioBlocks, and Graphic Stock. And they've been kind enough to open up their area to here for us.
Oh, yeah.
To come and do this. They've been very supportive of us in the past, and we've been very supportive of them, kind of like a really nice bra. And we work together. So if anybody wants to say that this is one big plug, well, I guess it's one big plug. So what? So what? I'm a rock star.
Terrible.
I got my moves on. I'm gonna head to Pink. That was Pink. You don't think she'd like that?
Nope, not at all.
All right. Well, you lost Gnip.
I did.
Unbelievable, but it was fun. I enjoyed.
Dude, it's like the third time I've played in my entire life.
Your whole life?
Probably, yeah.
I like ping pong.
I don't have a ping pong table.
No, I don't have a ping pong table either, but I watch Forrest Gump all the time to see how to properly.
Makes you a pro, right?
It does. If you watch Forrest Gump, you can see that he was digitally hitting a non-ball.
Yes.
Well, that's how they actually did it. That was like the origins of like early CGI and stuff like that. How many people here have a VideoBlocks or AudioBlocks or a Graphic Stock account? We got like 3 people. Do you like it? I mean, if you're a video editor, it just makes sense, correct? It's like once you start doing that, it's what? Why are you looking at me with a thumbs up?
I'm saying, yes, I use it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because you use it more than anybody.
I use it a lot, yeah.
Well, Todd uses it a lot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. If you're getting into video, you'll understand once you start editing. And when we get out with that editing guide, which should be done by the end of the summer, being edited.
Very soon.
The editing guide is currently being edited. God.
Do we have a behind-the-scenes video of the editing guide being edited?
Maybe if Todd...
Can we have a guide of that?
Maybe we should have a behind the scenes of the guide, how to edit the guide for the editing guide.
How to edit the editing guide. Yes.
That would be good.
That would be good.
That would be good. So that's coming. And that's is it time to start to do photo news?
I mean,
is that normally how this works?
It's normally how it works.
Because
yeah.
my paper says photo news right about meow.
Right meow?
Right meow.
Right meow.
Because we have a lot to talk about. Oh yeah, you've got photo news. But what we forgot last week was music.
We did.
We forgot our
that
audio
was the
blocks.
First episode in a while that we forgot the music.
Since we were away.
Yes.
Since we were gone.
Kelly Clarkson style.
I can't sleep for the first time. So young.
It's not as funny in person, is it?
Steven.
It's more irritating.
No, it's going to sound great when you
bleeding.
When you auto-tune it. All right, so we have to think of what is the proper song, type of music to go for.
We got a lot of people in here.
Well, I know you want Silent Dance Party,
Silent disco dance party.
Oh, like rainbow music?
As in, they can't hear any music right now.
All right.
But they'll be able to hear it in the final edit.
All right, so guess what it is? You guys, you're going to hear the music and
It's like a dance party.
It's like a dance
We're gonna
party.
Have some disco music going on, dance party status.
All right, so guess what? It's time for photo news.
We got
you guys are not even
dancing.
Come on, this is the greatest song since sliced bread. Oh my God, nobody's participating.
Terrible.
I'm going home.
Thanks, guys.
And
Show's
we have
over.
a crowd for what? I don't know. Jeez.
Let's try that one more time.
You want to try it
Let's try it one more time. So everyone needs to participate. We're going to do some kind of dance party status. Let's get some hands in the air. In the final edit, you'll hear some music behind this. It won't be as awkward, I promise.
Guess who's calling?
Your dad.
My dad.
Oh my God. I swear we did not plan this at all.
Hello? Hello? We're recording our show live and you're calling.
It's perfect.
All right, we'll call you back. Yep. Bye, Dad. Bye. See, that happens. He didn't even know, again, that we were recording. But
Every
it just
time.
felt like calling. All right, so it's time for photo news.
Yeah.
All right, good dancing,
There we
people.
go. Audience
All right.
participation right there. Yeah.
It's like pulling teeth.
It is.
I know the
Anyway,
photographers, not dancers.
I have a job to do.
All right, photo news. Let's get into that right now.
Photo news. So Canon is warning photographers to watch out for fake 600EX RT flash units that are being sold online. The counterfeit flash units look nearly identical to Canon's, but Canon warns that since they weren't verified by their safety measures or manufactured by them, that the flashes could catch on fire or start smoking during use. Now, to see if your flash unit is the real deal or fake, users can test the radio transmission wireless shooting function, off-camera flash, since the feature isn't available in the fake flash units. Now, another way to tell is by looking at the locking mechanism on the counterfeit flash. The lever doesn't wrap around the hot shoe all the way. And another way to tell is by looking at the custom
Another way to
function
tell is that
setting.
it says Young New on it.
Terrible. But you can also look at the custom function setting on the LCD screen, which has less information on it than the legit Canon flash.
Which
now,
you wouldn't know until you, if you had both.
But there's some sample images on the website comparing the locking lever and custom function screen for better clarification of what I'm talking about, which is...
Oh, fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-140.
Yes.
Here's one way that you can not buy a counterfeit item.
Not buy it on eBay?
Is maybe don't buy it from a place that's not reputable. If it's not Alan's Camera,
Yep.
Amazon, but sold by Amazon, if it's not B&H, Adorama, or any of those places, you may be in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I have to say about that. Hi.
Oh, hey.
Hi, what's your name? Benjamin Burgess. You told me you'd be late, right? It's okay. It's all right. Benjamin's here. No, there's seats back there. You can fill the void. It's all good.
Anyway, creative director Bradley G. Munkowitz brings you behind the scenes of the making of the default wallpaper for Windows 10, your favorite, in a new video. The video showcases how they had a glass pane cut to form the Windows logo, which they then used a projector to beam various different colors of light through it, which they then photographed. Now, in addition to light, they combined smoke, haze, lasers, and camera mapping to basically build the logo out of it. Windows 10 is set to ship with the new wallpaper on July 29th, 4 days after my birthday. Not as iconic as Bliss, in my opinion, though.
What's Bliss?
The original Windows XP.
The
landscape, which you were saying
we saw
in the
out-
Grand
we
Canyon.
did.
You're like, this is Bliss.
Well,
you
I
weren't
wasn't saying
that,
Bliss.
but
I was like, this is the
this
Windows
XP.
wallpaper.
Yeah. But it looks like something like straight out of Tron.
It
I don't know
looks
if you
pretty
saw this.
cool.
It does look cool.
But it's a freaking background.
I actually thought it was more like a CGI image. I didn't think it was a photograph.
Well,
at
it's cool that
first.
they made it. Do you know what they said?
What?
Like, they released it and they said, look at this photograph.
Nickelback style. But there's a whole behind-the-scenes video over on the website. You guys can check it out. A making of. Very cool stuff.
I wish we could see Chad Kroger making photograph.
This next story will probably upset you.
Really?
Selfie sticks have officially been banned from Disney theme parks.
That's right.
Starting
I'm not upset.
Starting June 30th, which is actually today, the date of this recording.
So up until yesterday, you could totally take a selfie stick?
Yep.
Oh, what? Didn't they sell selfie sticks there?
Right?
Anybody?
Think so.
Every day they sell
Really?
selfie sticks? Well, no,
not
no,
today.
they got to ban it today.
Today, the ban officially starts.
So they can't sell selfie sticks. Or actually, if
selfie sticks, but they're banned.
all right, there's no way.
No
But
way.
here's what would happen. Here's what would happen. It would be like, I could see somebody like, well, maybe you could buy it and then put it in your bag and not use it. But it's almost like wearing an I Shoot Raw shirt to that. What's that place called?
I don't know. What park
What was
is
that park?
Six Flags?
Six Flags. Is that right? Well, I couldn't actually think of the name. But they'd do that. They'd ban something and then sell it inside and be like, you can't use it. It's against our policy.
Now, both Disney World and Disneyland will apply bans on selfie sticks, and not just the U.S. parks either. Bans will also be implemented at their parks in Paris and Hong Kong. Now, Disney World spokeswoman Kim Prunty says, "We strive to provide a great experience for the entire family, and unfortunately, selfie sticks have become a growing safety concern for both our guests and cast."
Be our guest. Be our guest. Let the shit. I don't know the words to this stuff.
You never know the words.
I just make it up. Like when I was on set with the Mr. Wives.
Yes.
Mr. Wives?
The Mr. Wives?
No, just
like
no
the Facebook?
No, Mr. Wives.
Drop the the.
Drop the the.
Yeah.
And my job is to like yell at them as the guy, the angry dance instructor, and they have that song and their album's called Our House. Our House. They built their own house or whatever the hell it's called. And I'm just like, what's a roundhouse? I don't know what a roundhouse is. They're
Butcher
like,
the song.
They're like, it's own house. We
Now-
built our own house.
Prior to this ban, selfie sticks were allowed into the park, but not allowed on rides. A number of rides had big no selfie stick signs displayed for guests waiting in line.
Was it like
pretty much.
Goofy with a selfie stick on top of it?
But I mean, I went in December and we brought selfie sticks.
Yeah, you
I
screwed
didn't
it up.
Personally, yeah. I was just hitting everyone
Dude, the
in line.
worst thing are selfie sticks. I don't care what anybody says. When you were at a bar and you got these girls like, hey, let's get a selfie with our selfie stick. And it's with like
Wait,
50
inside
people.
a bar?
Yeah, at Barcade, I saw this. And I just
All right,
wanted
well,
to take
that's weird.
I took a picture of the people taking a picture with the selfie stick just to shame them online.
I feel like if you're taking a picture of like a giant landmark, that's
Chicago.
kind of okay.
Remember when we were in Chicago at the Bean?
Yes.
And that guy was just spinning in a circle trying to get the right angle. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
This is so bad.
Yep.
Bad.
All you gotta do is ask people.
Ask people.
That's all you have to do.
It's horrible.
A photographer received a cancellation request from a wedding client after
Can you
changing.
get that piece of fuzz on the table? Right there.
That's not fuzz. What is that? That's like rice or something. So a photographer received a cancellation request from a wedding client after changing their Facebook profile photo with the Celebrate Pride rainbow overlay. Now, as most of you know, gay marriage is finally allowed nationwide, and those that support it have been changing the pictures with the rainbow overlay on Facebook. Well, Brentwood Photography, the name, wanted to show their support and added the colorful overlay to their logo. Well, one of their wedding clients weren't happy and messaged them requesting their retainer back. They said, in
Wait a
quotes,
second. They gave them their retainer
They
from
requested
their
it.
mouth?
So they said in
Hey
quotes,
guys, I wear a retainer every night.
give me my retainer back.
It's so hard to drink water. I got my retainer.
So they said in a Facebook message, "Greeting Brentwood, we would just like to inform you that we will not be using your services for our wedding. My fiance and I support traditional marriage between a man and a woman and don't want our money going to
I
a place
prefer
that
man and
supports
dog.
otherwise. Secondly, I would like to inquire about how we can get our retainer back from you. Thank you."
Well, if you didn't leave it stuck to my table, I would have returned it to you.
Now, Brentwood Photography responded with their own clever message, saying, in quotes, "Wow, I'm not really sure what to say here. I would say this disappoints me, but I actually find this to be a good thing because our company now would not like to work with you as well. It's not that because you have a different view from us, but it's because since you don't like and support gay marriage, no one else should be able to have it. That's like me not liking broccoli and demanding that everyone else in the world should not have broccoli
It is
either."
still a good point. Every time I hear it.
They went on to say, "Now, as far as your retainer goes, I hope you'll read the first article in the contract you signed stating that this retainer is non-refundable. But don't worry, I'm not going to keep it because as of this conversation, I've decided to donate your $1,500 to GLAD, the Gay and Lesbian Advocates and Defenders, a group created to help and support gay rights. So let me be the first to say thank you very much for your donation and support for this great cause. I couldn't have done it without your money."
Yeah, and they're in the
Perfect
right there, man.
response. Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. I didn't change my Facebook profile.
I didn't, but I also haven't changed my Facebook profile picture in probably like 2 years.
Yeah, it's cool.
I just don't change it personally.
I
should.
I was commenting on, somebody left a comment. Now, she just got married to her girlfriend, and she put LGBTQ. And I'm like, I've heard of LGBT, but what's the Q?
What is the Q?
Does anybody know what the Q stands for? Queer or questioning. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, can you stop putting names to everything? What is that?
What is that noise?
What is that noise?
Did anyone else hear that? It's like the air conditioning trying to turn on.
Something is vibrating. Is it the Q and the LGBT? It's vibrating
Speaking to us.
It's all good. We've got this natural hum back here, but no, I just like, why do we need to have labels?
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that
noise?
That's an editing problem.
Yeah, right. That'll be fun to
Probably
take out.
won't pick it up. But all right, next photo
Room
news.
tone.
Next photo news story.
Wait,
Wait, but did anybody hear the humming coming from behind the wall?
No, it's all in your head.
No,
Well, the TVs, you mean?
no, behind the TVs.
I just hear the TVs.
Those
and
aren't
that
the TVs.
Ridiculous freaking noise.
The humming back there.
What is that?
Are the servers.
Oh.
We talked about that in our interview that's upcoming.
I was paying attention to the cameras, not the interview.
Oh,
Whoops.
whoops.
My bad.
Good.
Speaking of weddings, a wedding photographer slipped but still kept shooting on the way down, capturing some classic reactions from the wedding party. Almost exactly last
We're
year.
going downtown, shooby dooby doo sugar, we're going down swinging.
Patrick Stump?
I'll
Fall Out
be your
Boy?
number one with a bullet. And pull it.
Now, photographer Chase Richardson was photographing a wedding when he slipped on a puddle, and as he was falling, his finger was still in the shutter.
You know, that reminds me of
Recording-
Puddle of Mud.
Everything's so blurry. That's a great song.
Is that Puddle of Mud?
Puddle of Mud, man?
Is that which one?
I listened to that song in like 8th grade.
Oh, she hates me.
I like
of
that you
course she
bleeped
hates
yourself
you.
out.
Well, well, that's because it's the radio edit.
So anyway, he slipped on a puddle, and as he was falling, his finger was still in the shutter, recording everyone's expression as they watched him fall. He says in quotes, "It has been raining all morning, so I ended up photographing the wedding party under this covered slab of concrete, basically. There were puddles everywhere, and when I took a step back to get ready for the photo, I just slipped and fell. Pretty embarrassing."
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Now, the fall did break the camera lens and cut his fingers open, but he did get an interesting photo out of it. What is that noise? Oh my God. I hope the audio picks it up, because that is... I think it's
Joel.
I think the air conditioning unit's going to fall through the ceiling.
All right, I think we're good.
All right.
It stopped. Wait a second.
Wait.
Is somebody up there? Somewhere
They didn't have a ticket, did they?
out there. Go ahead.
So anyway, again, he broke his camera lens and cut his finger open. The image just went viral this month after Jimmy Fallon ended up featuring the photo on a recent episode where he talks about wedding fails, and this ended up coming up.
Were you in one of them?
No, I was not in one of them.
No, I don't. Wedding fails. That was a cool picture, though.
It was a cool picture. So basically, everyone's expression is just like, "Oh my God!" And then there's a couple. There's like one girl that's smiling. It's kind of weird.
It's because
It's
she
really
was
weird. She was a little delayed.
Well, delay. Good word. Better word, because I didn't want to pull out the other word. I was just like, what word can I use?
Safety word.
Delayed.
Delayed.
Like her reaction was delayed. Nothing
Exactly.
else.
Yes. Yes.
Steven, this is a politically correct show. And by politically correct, I mean the exact opposite.
So a new website called Is It Nude can tell if your photo contains nudity or not.
Oh, gee. Wait, let me check. Yep. That's a penis.
It's
Yep.
funny. It's funny though, because some of the comments were like, "Wait, the website's called I Sit Nude, not Is It Nude." It kind of looks like it's both ways.
Well, funny thing, Steven.
So California-based algorithm company Algorithmia designed the custom code for a
Wait,
client.
the Eurythmics? Wait, can somebody throw me the Eurythmics song? Sweet dreams. Wait, I'm going to do the Marilyn Manson version. Sweet dreams are made of these. Travel. How's it? What's the main line? Nobody's gonna be me. Are you guys trying to work? Sorry, they're trying to work. Wait, but you know how he screams? Oh,
Isn't he the one that always splashes like water on you when you photograph him?
Manson threw water at me?
Yeah, didn't he?
No, he spit water at me.
Spit water on you.
But I liked it.
Or beer? All right.
No, but he did because I was part of the show. But guess what? Good news.
What?
Marilyn
He's
Manson
coming back?
is going out with...
Avril Lavigne?
No, not out with. Billy Corgan on tour. And my buddy just got the call to be his guitar tech, to be the guitar tech for...
Wait, Billy Corgan solo?
Billy Corgan, whoever the hell he's
Smashing Pumpkins.
It could be. It's not Smashing Pumpkins because Darcy's not there and drummer guy isn't
But they
there.
still say it's Smashing Pumpkins,
Right.
even though it
So they're
isn't.
co-touring. It's like 90s revival or 2000s revival with
say, yeah,
Billy
Manson.
Corgan. But my buddy's out on tour, so maybe when he comes to Philly, we can sit down with Manson.
Spit more water on you?
Just talk to him.
Nice.
Be like, hi, Brian.
So anyway, California-based algorithm company Algorithmia designed the custom code for a client, but has since opened up the website to the public. The company's chief technical officer, Kenny Daniel, explained that a customer wanted to run a website with the intent of it being kid-friendly.
So basically, he didn't pay his bill, so they released it for free.
The company then set out to design the needed algorithm. He went on to explain the process, saying, one of our engineers took some algorithms off the shelf, things like image detection, skin color detection, and then put them together and made this website Is It Nude. Now, it doesn't work for black and white images, though, because it does go off your skin color.
That's racist.
But it will work on paintings and anything else that pretty much mimics the human body in color.
So what is the point?
Now, after uploading, it gives either a G or PG rating for non-nude images or an R rating for images that contain nudity.
I want NC-17 all the way.
Algorithmia will be using the data it collects from the site to improve the existing algorithm too, but they note that they will not retain any of your photographs. It wouldn't be a bad idea if like Flickr built this in.
Why? Who cares?
If they want like a kid-friendly section that
my
isn't
bad.
nude photographs.
I'm sorry, I get it.
I mean,
It took me a while. I now get it. They want some I was a little delayed on that one, Steven. Now I get it because I'm thinking, well, what? You can't look at the picture and see that it's nude? I get it.
it's more for that.
It's for kids. For kids, like the hula hoop. Anybody get that reference? Please, somebody get that reference. Hudsucker Proxy.
I still haven't watched it.
Anybody?
I downloaded it though.
Yes, one of the most fantastic movies because, for kids.
And you expect me to know these movies. No one else knows these movies except one guy.
That's horrible, Steven. And all you other people who have not seen this fantastic movie.
Instagram has updated their Explore and Search tab in their mobile app. The Explore tab now features trending topics as they happen in real time with both trending hashtags and geotag locations.
It's a good way to get your stuff recognized is to ride the hashtag.
It is.
No, seriously.
It is. I
Find
never
hashtags.
hashtag, and I should.
Yeah, but if you have things that are relevant, it's how you do stuff on Twitter is you ride the hashtag. If you've got something, like that's what people used to do on YouTube. Before, when they let you do this, they had the video response. And I know that Phil DeFranco used to do that. He would respond. He would do video responses to videos that were popular so that people would watch his video response and then subscribe to him, thus how he started to build a huge channel.
Huh. Interesting.
You can't do that anymore because they don't have video responses.
That's true. They also now feature curated collections, which are handpicked by Instagram. There are interesting accounts and topics at the top of the page for people to explore. Now, the search function has been revamped too and can now search for places, allowing people to search a location and see what people are posting from there in real time. You can also specify if you would like to just search for people or hashtags as well. Now,
Can
the
it find if they're nude or not?
maybe the combination of isitnude.com and Instagram.com.
Because there's no nudity on Instagram.
There's none, right?
Not
That's
allowed.
the policy? Yeah.
You got to put X's over things.
Now, the update is now available for both Android and iOS. And now, however, Instagram says the update is only for U.S. users currently, and it will be rolled out internationally in the near future. Speaking of Instagram, a new photo now earns the title as the most liked Instagram image ever. Now, it's Kendall Jenner's heart hair photograph, which shows her laying on the ground with her hair shaped.
Does anybody have a spoon?
With her hair shaped as little hearts around her head.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her. Your little hearts around your Kendall Jenner head.
So the photo, how much likes you think it got?
How many likes?
Yeah.
2
or loves, as I call them on Instagram.
2.6 million.
You read this story, didn't you?
Well,
2.6 million.
all right. All right.
Just a guess, right? Just a guess.
I saw it the other day, but I didn't remember how many. But I visualized the 2, and I think I recall a 6.
Photographic memory.
Something like that.
The previous holder is her half-sister Kim Kardashian with her photo of her and Kanye
Dude, that's
kissing
a full,
at their wedding.
That's a full sister.
Which got
if you
them
count her ass.
2.4 million likes. I mean, this one is fairly creative
It's
compared
all
to the
right.
last one, at
It's
least.
all right, but it's not like. First off, how does she have that many followers?
Yep.
What does she do?
Nothing. I
Who
don't know.
is she?
She's Paris Hilton.
Who are
I
her
don't know.
parents? No, really. How do you have a? She has two moms, right?
I guess now. And finally, this last story. A
How
photographer.
did they have such? See, when you have two moms, you're gonna have a really good-looking girl.
Yep. A photographer's open letter to the CEO of Live Nation got them to change their work for free.
That guy's an asshole.
In-house photography policy. This video sucked. Terrible. His name?
I was like, no, I'm sitting there. I'm like,
Jared
I haven't
Bowen.
heard this story. Oh, and I'm like, wait, that's me.
So you want to talk about this story, right?
I'll talk about this story.
Talk
Does
about
anybody see this video?
It's terrible.
So what happened is, it came to my attention through one of the. I guess I follow one of the concert photography groups, and
Okay.
somebody posted something like in Nashville that a new venue, the Ascend Amphitheater, was looking for a photographer, and they posted what they were looking for, basically what the email is they got back. So instead of me just reading that and going, well, this is fact, I wanted to find out for myself. So I found the email for the person, and I emailed them and said, hey, I got rid of my address line just so they thought I was local, and I'm just good. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got rid of the address line, and I sent it. I said, hey, I'm interested in the photo position. Can you give me more information? And so that person emailed me back, and it was the exact same thing that they wrote. And so it was, the gist of it is, this is a non-paying gig. Live Nation owns all of the rights to the images, and it's a great portfolio builder and a great way to get your foot in the door for maybe getting paid in the future, which is bullshit. It actually said bullshit. It actually said it. No, it didn't really say
This is
it.
bullshit.
This
At
is
the
actual
bottom.
bullshit.
Very tiny text.
It actually said, ha, 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 you suck, but it didn't. So I was just like, all right. And I emailed them back instead of making a video based off of that, and I was like, I wanted to find out this information. Is this a local Live Nation policy, or is this a national policy? Is there any negotiation available, so on and so forth? If anybody hasn't seen this yet, that's why I'm explaining it. And I got the email back. It's like, this is a local policy, but Live Nation doesn't actually have a policy for photographers and things like that.
Like a nationwide policy, correct?
Nationwide is on your side.
Someone taking a picture outside the window.
Da, 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 da,
Creepy.
da, da, da. 24 Snap Omaha. Peyton Manning. But anyway, so then I did my research, and I made, I'll be honest with you, I made the video 6 different times.
6 times.
About 6 times. So I usually don't do that.
Usually one and done.
Usually. But I want to make sure that the information was right, and I wanted to make sure that I was not being a dick.
Because you have actually shot for Live Nation.
I have shot for Live Nation, and I have been paid, but I've also been asked to do things for nothing.
Of course.
So that's not good.
Yeah.
So what happened is, I made it, by the last time I was like, oh, I should have them tweet somebody. I'm like, let's tweet Live Nation. I was like, oh, no, let's tweet the CEO because I found his Twitter handle. It was a real quick search. So I was like, all right, everybody, we need to tweet him, hashtag, respect photographers. And that's what I thought would work. And and the guy responded in 2 hours. A lot of people hammered him.
That's great.
A lot of people were like, you need to respect photographers. Most of them were respectful. Some people were dicks, and they shouldn't be dicks because whatever. If I was a flaming asshole in my video, cursing, calling this guy's family and all this stuff names, they would have never responded to me because they won't take you serious. Like,
You can't threaten them, yeah.
You can't threaten. But I did it. I was like, look, everybody else gets paid. Why wouldn't we? And so what happened is he contacted me. We had a Twitter conversation. The next day, I got a call from the co-president of concerts for the USA.
Wow.
And we had a 30-minute conversation. And he's like, this isn't good. He's like, we're going to fix this.
I mean, that's great.
It's just something that we just don't have, and we need to have this. You're right. Everybody deserves to get paid. We want to make sure that this happens, so let's figure it out. And he's asking me great questions. And so I'm trying to come up with what I think could be a good starting point for them to offer in positions where they haven't been paying photographers in the past. Now, if they already have deals with Live Nation and other photographers, they shouldn't have to change that. Let people keep their current arrangements. But it's important that they have something in place that doesn't take away from, well, photographers need to get paid.
Yeah.
But
First and foremost.
on the other side, photographers need to stop calling Live Nation and saying, I'll shoot for free. You don't have to pay me. I'll even pay you because they just want to get into shows.
Pay you.
So it's not just, I'm not giving them a free pass. They have no free pass by any stretch of the imagination, but the photographers have caused a lot of these problems by offering to do free work because it's concerts. And then in turn, they'd be like, well, why do we need to pay you if this guy's going to do it for nothing and do a crappy job generally, but they don't care because they're not paying for it. But my local Live Nation office usually has the budget to pay somebody, and they'd like to bring out younger photographers because it's usually easier because they don't know as
Cheaper.
much, but, and less expensive. So that's the moral of the story is within 2 hours, the voices were heard, and they contacted me, and it's going to change.
I mean, I was telling you when you posted that video first, I think within 10 minutes I searched up that hashtag on Twitter, and there was probably 200 other hashtags of the same.
He's still getting
posting at him. Yeah.
He's still getting that because
I'm
other
sure.
people haven't seen that he's already taken care of it.
Yeah.
And he personally responded to most of the people that were sending messages like, we're
Sounds
taking
like
care
a
of
good guy.
this.
Did you talk to him on the phone too?
No,
or?
I didn't talk to him.
Okay.
He's the president and CEO.
Wow.
I haven't talked to him yet.
It's a big title.
But one day.
Yeah.
One day. All right. Is that photo news?
That's photo news. Yeah.
No.
We actually need rollout music too.
We need
didn't think
rollout
about
music
that.
for photo news?
Yeah. Because we skipped it
Should we
twice
get
last week.
Oh, you know what? Rollout music sounds like why don't we go with like a reggae feel?
Reggae.
For somebody rolling a joint or something. I don't advocate smoking. I'm not a fan of it.
You
it
aren't.
messes up my
I will
head.
tell you that.
I cannot. I feel like a moron the next day, and it just doesn't work for me.
You're not a fan of drugs or alcohol in general.
Well, that's
Which
true.
is a good thing.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
But I mean, I wish I liked it. But the only problem is when you wake
Well,
up
I'm just
and
shocked because you've toured with bands, and you would think that,
Well, I've
especially
toured with plenty of
Modest Yahoo you've toured with, and you think you would have
I've toured with
picked up
plenty
something.
bands, but I don't. No, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
No, I just don't want to feel dumb. And if I feel dumb,
feel dumb.
no, I really feel like
I think it depends on the person.
slow. I feel slow,
Delayed?
and I don't like that feeling. So that's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So let's get some reggae music right now. You
Reggae
ready?
music. All right. Is everyone just going to chill out?
Dude, you got the ball going.
God, it's so awkward with all this stuff watching you.
Well, you just have to block it out.
Everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? It'll
Block
make
it
sense
out.
in the final edit, I promise.
Yeah, you guys get to watch the final edit. All right, so what do we have coming up right now? We have an interview with the founder. He's not only the president. I don't know if he's the president. No, he's not
He's-
the founder,
he's
but he's
the
the
guy.
Are you the Joel? Are you the CEO? He's playing ping pong. Can you ask him if he? Oh yeah,
Someone said he's
obviously he's the
playing ping pong.
CEO. Is he the CEO? Founder? All right. Okay,
CEO
good.
and
I just had to
founder.
verify my facts. So happens that we're in their office.
He started it all.
So Joel is the founder and the CEO of VideoBlocks first and foremost, and I sat down with him a little earlier this afternoon to have an interview, which turned out to be unbelievably good.
Oh, it's great.
I loved it because we're talking business, we're talking everything that's going on, and I really, really enjoyed that. So what we have here coming up right now is an interview with Joel, the founder of VideoBlocks. Enjoy this. And we're good. What is the humming? Do you know what the humming is?
Yeah, we have a bunch of servers back there holding terabytes and terabytes of video clips.
Do you have them redundant around the world?
We do, yep. So we'll bring the clips in here first, and then they'll replicate on CDNs. And I think right now we're using Amazon, and Amazon then has POPs all over the world.
So that just means that people can download things quicker
Yep.
wherever they're at.
Exactly right. So if you're pulling something from Amsterdam or Beijing, actually I don't know about Beijing, but if you're pulling something from Amsterdam or call it France, they're going to be two different POPs, whatever's
Sure.
closest to you, so you get fast speeds.
Now, do you use Pied Piper to shrink your stuff?
Yeah, we're a big fan of the middle out compression algorithm. Yeah, of course.
Oh, I loved it. Man, do you love the show?
I do. Though I will say this, I think season 2 has become a lot less entertaining and a lot more kind of like dramatic.
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, we're talking about Silicon Valley on HBO, and you live that life, except not in Silicon Valley.
Yep.
But no, I agree with you. Season 1 was awesome because you get your first season, you get it all right, you have nothing else to lose, and then now you have to get season 2 and get it right. Hopefully season 3 comes back and is much better.
Yeah. It kind of felt like on season 1 they started just attacking all the great tech stereotypes, and they were spot on.
Yeah.
Once they kind of started running out of the obvious material, it seems like they started trying to find a narrative, and that's all good, but I think you have to have both.
Right.
I think that self-effacing humor was really fun, and they need to bring it back.
Right. So what I was thinking is, I know you have funding. The company has funding. When you're pitching, is it similar to what we've seen on TV?
So
do you pull your pants down like Erlich Bachman?
yeah. You literally walk in there, and I think Erlich walked in and put his nuts on the table.
Yeah.
I've never done that. My lawyers advised against that.
You're like, no nuts on the table?
I know, what is this? It's 2015. You should be able to put your nuts on the table. And they said, no, you can't do that. So, no, I think there's a big difference between West Coast and East Coast.
Yeah.
So our backers are all East Coast based. And some of those stereotypes that you see in the show, I think maybe do actually happen on the West Coast, but I've never been privy to them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be interesting though, going for something like that. So talk about the beginning, the origins. On the website, it talks about, under the About section, is that you basically went on a year journey.
That's right.
What'd the family say? What'd family and friends say about that?
Well, I think this is this is where I was really fortunate, because I had a family that probably thought I was nuts for wanting to take a year off between high school and college, but B, was supportive. And so I was working on this small little show in high school where we'd go out and interview interesting people. People like Arnold Schwarzenegger, somehow convinced them to sit down and give us a one-on-one interview, getting advice for teens. Where do you go to college? What do you study? What do you do for internships? And the problem was, the advice was good, the production value was shit, right? It was basically, we didn't have the music, we didn't have the sound effects, we didn't have the aerial flyovers, all the establishing shots. So it was this really boring show. And as I started looking around, trying to figure out, like, how do I make Discovery Channel type productions? The answer was I couldn't, because I didn't have the budget.
Right.
And so to me, that was, a bummer, but an opportunity. And so I figured, hey, this was, by the way, 2003. So I was early, but I figured, there was going to be more independent video makers like myself as cameras got cheaper, computers got more powerful, bandwidth got, more, ubiquitous. And so that was it. It was all, my market research was kind of a sample of one. I decided, hey, if I need this, other people are going to need it. And I took a year off, bought a camera bag, a little camera, Canon GL2, and a tripod, traveled around the country. So I would shoot, I'd go hit I think Seattle was my first stop. Never been there. Had enough money to stay in a Best Western for 2 nights. And I would walk, the city day and night, shooting all the different establishing shots that I thought an editor would need. Then cut it up and start selling it on eBay to see if there were anybody, any souls out there to buy it.
So did you literally ship them drives at the time?
No, this is before, digitization was really simple. So I would ship tapes.
You would send the tape.
Yeah. So mini DV tapes, little beta SP tapes. Yeah. I was actually shipping tape stock.
So what were you making off of that?
Not much.
But you made enough to get to the next city?
That was it. So I think my original prices for a tape, it was like $40, right? And by the way, airline tickets around this time were pretty cheap as well. So it was all relative, right?
Yeah.
So it might cost me $100 to fly to a city. So as long as I could sell a couple tapes, I could pay for that plane ticket to the next city. If I sold a couple more tapes, I could actually stay in a hotel, right? And so sometimes I'd stay in hostels. Sometimes I could do a Best Western. And I did this about 30 times over the course of the year, going city to city. And I only got stuck one time in a city where I couldn't afford to get out.
Detroit?
No, actually, better, luckily. Not much. Detroit's probably a great city, but Aspen. I got caught in Aspen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Tough life,
It's
right?
beautiful out there.
Gorgeous. So I stayed there for a couple extra days. The downside was I shifted from a budget hotel to a hostel where all the construction workers were staying, and it was dormitory style. So I'd come back after shooting a long day and I'm exhausted, just want to go to bed. I'm not 21 by this time, by the way. And all these guys would come back at 2, 3 in the morning, hammered, screaming, yelling, hooting, hollering. And I was scared out of my mind. So I would take my camera bag, I'd lock it to the bedpost, spoon it, and it all worked out fine, but it was suboptimal.
So that was the idea. It was just travel around. But did you not want to go to college right out of high school?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to go to Babson College, to study business. But I wanted to take that year off because I think by the end of high school, I was a little burnt out on being force-fed education, right? Like you don't get to choose what you do in high school. And I've always been one of these individuals that doesn't like being told what to do. I mean, I think that's why entrepreneurship is so alluring, right?
Yeah.
And so I resented a lot of the classes I had to take. And by the end of high school, I was burned out. And I was worried that if I went straight into college, I might carry some of that resentment into the college, world. So I took this year off and I grew up quite a bit, right? Had a chance to live on my own, make my own decisions, and ultimately make the personal decision to go back to college. And then I had a whole new perspective.
One of the major issues with our country has to be this let's go to school right out of high school. You're 18 years old, you don't know anything, and we want you to make a decision on what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Oh, and by the way, you're going to have about $100,000 to $250,000 in debt that you have to pay back at 4.325%, which is a joke. A lot of the other countries do it right. They give kids a year off, 2 years off to go explore Europe and do whatever they need, and then when they come back, they help them.
Yep.
And it just seems like so you traveled. You didn't have help from other people. You just, what you made is what you made.
That's it.
And that was it.
Yeah. So I'd cobbled together some savings from selling golf balls as a kid, which kind of turned into buying my first computer to design websites.
What was your first computer?
It was a Hewlett Packard. I don't remember the model, but man, by today's standards, the thing was a calculator.
Was it a 486?
I had a 486, yes, but my 486 did not have internet. So my first internet-connected computer was this Hewlett Packard.
Nice.
7200 or something, like way old school. And I remember the year, 1997, because it's like, this is one of, I can tell you that I'm not good with dates. I can tell you the year I got the computer. I can tell you the day, June 20th, 2009, I got my iPhone, right? It's like certain big things really stand out.
8 gig?
On the original iPhone? That I don't remember.
Was it more expensive or less expensive? I remember that. We stood in line. We bought the 8 gigs. We're like, we want the 8 gigs.
Yep.
And then they dropped the price 2 weeks later and gave you a refund on the price because people were complaining.
Dude, and it's crazy. Thinking back to that computer, memory was measured in megabytes.
Yep. That's
wild.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember having to boot up programs, even Microsoft Word. You'd boot it up, you go do something for a minute, right, and hope it actually loaded.
Yeah.
So I designed websites early on and then started selling software on eBay. So I had some money built up.
Huh.
So on this year off, I had reserves I could tap into. But no, never had any help from anybody.
So you always had the entrepreneurial spirit there.
I always loved selling things. Yeah.
Oh, I love sales.
Yeah, it feels good.
I love sales.
Yeah.
Sales is the best.
It's the best.
So when you're sitting in front of these 150 people that you interviewed, is it just cold calling, getting people to be like, look, I've got this cable access show on UHF 9.
Yep.
UHF 9. Was that Weird Al from that movie? Was it UHF?
I don't remember that.
No, you don't remember that one?
No.
But how did you get it? How'd you just ask?
Yeah, man. So it was straight cold calling. And it goes back to sales, right? It was playing up my young age, right? So I was a sophomore in high school when I started this. So I'd kind of play the pity card. Hey, I'm a kid. I don't know what to do. Help us, right? We need help. And then persistence. So I remember one of the first people I contacted was Steve Forbes.
Yeah.
And the way I did it was I read Forbes magazine like a total dork, right? And in the front, he would have his letter to the editor or his his opener, and they had an email address on it, which of course didn't actually go to Steve, but I kept sending emails plugging this, please help, please. And finally, after 3 months, his team said, fine, shut up.
Yeah.
Come up to New York, bring your cameras, you can interview Steve.
Wow.
And funny story there. So we actually went up, and this is you guys have awesome equipment. We were using big cameras, big lights. This is before you had LED lights, things that pulled a lot of power.
Yeah.
We set up in the Forbes editorial, one of their floors, and blew the power out.
Nice.
So we knocked the entire floor out. The journalists were so pissed because who knows how many articles were lost. So that was one of our first. That was one of our first interviews, and it got better from there.
So who are some of the names that you interviewed?
Yeah, man. So it was I tried to spread it around. So it was people like David Neeleman, the founder of JetBlue. So here's the guy. He had learning disabilities and yet started and sold multiple airlines. Pretty powerful story. Ivan Seidenberg. So he was the CEO of Verizon at the time, and he had started his career decades earlier, climbing poles. So he literally worked his way up from like the guy that climbs the pole to connect
Yep.
things to being CEO, which I thought was just a very like all-American story. Arnold Schwarzenegger, right, was probably one of the most interesting ones because here's a guy that came from Austria to America with nothing. And not only like if you had just become, an actor, you might say luck, right?
Yeah.
But it was actor, bodybuilding champion,
Apartment building owner.
Yeah.
And flipper.
everything, right? And then governor. So like it was quite impressive what he had done with no silver spoon.
Right. So do you feel that those 150 people that you interviewed contributed to you going out and doing your own thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because the advice was all, if you had to boil it down, one of the consistent themes was, look, we all came from different backgrounds. Some of us better off than others, but you can do anything you put your mind to, right? That if you're actually passionate about something and you give it enough time and energy, you can do it. Like there was nothing special about any of these people, which is
Right.
what I learned.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that it's hard work, persistence. Sometimes you get lucky, but you had to be good to get lucky.
Yep.
And it just keep at it. So tell us how you evolved into VideoBlocks.
Yep. So I took that year off, traveled all over, and by the end realized, there's something to this. Like I think there's actually going to be a business here. So let me go learn more about business. So I went to Babson College up in Boston, studied marketing, finance, economics, accounting, all these things. And it was kind of a cool way to do college because as I was going through these business classes, I was applying learning directly to the company, which at the time went by Footage Firm, right? And
Which could be like a mail enhancement
oh
website.
yeah. Well, so in fact,
Footage Firm, sponsored by Ron Jeremy.
so my license plate on my car says Footage, and I wonder how many people read that and they say footage. Like, is this guy like have like a fetish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Footage Firm transitioned to VideoBlocks. Basically, when I started realizing digital distribution was going to be the way we had to do things, right? So all the way through college, it was shipping tapes. That changed to shipping DVDs. So we would actually, ship files on data DVDs.
Right.
And I think we shipped over 1 million of these DVDs over time, which is kind of
We
cool.
as in the business?
Yeah, we as in the business, which I guess
Was
really
you?
was me. Yeah. So I graduated in 2008 and had this decision to make, which was, do I go into the job market? And I was fortunate. Like, it was a very bad time in the economy.
That was the worst time. What, 7 and 8?
7 and 8 was the worst. So, like, you couldn't have picked a worse time to be trying to get a job or trying to start a business. I was fortunate that I had a job offer to go into investment banking. And for whatever reason, it didn't get rescinded. It was going to be a guaranteed 6-figure salary right out of school, which is audacious considering most people, like most of my friends, couldn't get jobs or were having them pulled back. So I basically had to now tell my parents, hey guys, remember when I took that year off between high school and college and you thought that was kind of crazy? Now in the worst economy since the 2000s, I've got this guaranteed job offer and I think I'm going to turn it down and move back into your basement and eat your food. How does that sound? And fortunately, again, I think they were like, look, it sounds crazy, but we're totally supportive. And that's the way it went.
Well, it's like Branson. When you read up on Branson, how he's like, I want to drop out of school. It was like 14 years old.
Yep.
It's like, I just want to start this company.
Yep.
And his parents, for whatever reason, were like, okay, because school didn't work for him.
Yep.
He just wanted to work. He wanted to build something.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So you're shipping a million DVDs?
1 million DVDs.
How were they finding you in 2008?
So online marketing was something that I guess out of necessity got pretty good at. It was
PPC stuff back then?
It was a lot of email marketing. So yes, PPC was there, but email marketing, like
Sure.
finding groups that had relevant email lists and sending an offer that someone couldn't refuse. And basically, it was like, hey, here's a DVD of content worth $10,000. It's content from all over the country, right? So it was a combination of all these things I had shot, and you can have it for like $10.
Right.
How do you say no to that?
Right.
And then we'd ship thousands of them. Like ship that email out, bam.
So yeah, the email lists were more effective in 2007, 2008.
Yep.
But I will say email lists are becoming more effective again for the people that have clean email lists.
Yep.
I know we have a very clean email list, and we get an open rate of upwards of 40%
Yep.
over about 150,000 people. And it's a lot of people will be like, emails are dead. You're like, well, not if you give relevant content. And sure, we give offers to our people, but I try to supplement it with quality, non-selling things. But honestly, your email list is one of the strongest connections you can have because it's your list. It's your connection to your people. It's not Facebook. It's not YouTube. It's nothing else. It's yours.
No, look, it's funny. I think that whole, the whole idea that email is dead is the biggest misconception, because what's the first thing you do every morning when you wake up and roll over and grab your iPhone? Right?
Our age demographic does that.
Yeah.
The younger age demographic probably goes on Snapchat and Instagram and does all of that.
Yep.
Which is evolving.
Screw those guys.
Oh, yeah. Damn kids and your Snapchats.
No, look, I think like, look, there's a lot of attention paid to social media, but emails still got, it's very relevant. It's still got a place.
And so you transition from how did the transition happen from DVDs to the digital distribution?
Yep. So, I graduated from college, declined the job offer, moved into my parents' basement, and for the first time didn't have, social, didn't have like fraternity to worry about, didn't have grades and classes and all these things. So I sat back and looked long term. So like, for this to turn, go from being a nice lifestyle business, which supports me and I could do this, forever, into an actual company, we need to get with the times. And that meant having a digital distribution. And
you keep saying we.
So that's true.
Were there more people?
Not
because
yet.
I do that. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when people ask, because it sounds less pretentious to say
I was
we.
gonna say, yeah.
Right? Is
I
it
don't
the
love
same
the word
feeling?
I. Yeah.
No, but it's the truth, because it's when people are like, I talk to people, I'm like, we do this, we did this,
Yep.
but no, really, technically, it was I
That's
at
true.
the beginning.
That's
but
true.
I'll give you. I
fair
heard
enough.
that.
So that's fair, actually. So yeah, it's true. So it basically, I sat down and said, okay, I want to get out of my parents' basement as quickly as possible, and I want to build an actual company, right? Something that's going to have staying power and really have affect change on society in some way. And I realized that DVD distribution was going to die eventually. People are going to want to search, preview, and download their files from a website. And I really liked the subscription-based approach that Netflix used, because I felt like it opened up, right? If you had high enough volume, you could keep prices really low. It opened up this content world to a whole new type of buyer. And really, it was interesting. Footage Firm had been selling to the high-end guys at NBCs and ABCs. And VideoBlocks still does today.
Was that all your own content at the time still?
At the time it was. Yeah, it was still stuff that I had shot. But, the core focus had going back to the roots was the indie filmmakers, right? The guys who had aspirations of creating these incredible projects, but not the budgets to afford the footage. So when I thought about, what's the next phase, it was, let's try this subscription thing. Because if we can get that price point low enough and sell enough subscriptions, we can make money as a company. I can make money as a company.
No, we works there.
And at the same time, the customers can really benefit.
So did you build the site yourself? Did you handle all of that?
So the original Footage Firm website, I had cobbled together a lot of it. I think by this time in 2009, I met a guy named Neil. And Neil, we actually met on Craigslist looking for a developer. He was local, and he helped me build the original VideoBlocks prototype. Honestly, I think the way it worked was I went to bid it out to some U.S. design firms, and they wanted like $100,000, $150,000 to build a basic website, which I did not have. And so I used Elance, found a group in India, built the whole thing for $1,600.
Wow.
And it wasn't great, right? But it was like a framework of what could work, like 80% of the way there. And then Neil came in and helped me fix it. And so we got this thing into a working situation by 2010. And 2010, we basically beta tested VideoBlocks.com to our existing Footage Firm customers. And we're very pleasantly, validated that people started subscribing. And so, since that time, we now have, a very robust development team. But for a while, it was two of us building this website, one customer service person.
Where did you host the files?
Man, originally these files were hosted on, I guess it was, it was like one of these free hosting websites, DreamHost.
Really?
I think we used DreamHost back in the day because it gave you unlimited storage for one low price. Now, they didn't ever expect someone like me to come along and say, and actually go crazy. So eventually we found out that unlimited has a limit, and they bumped us. We moved over to rack space, and now we're all cloud, based, that's another thing that's crazy. Like building a business back in the day, you had to be able to predict what demand was going to be like to make sure you had the servers, the server power and infrastructure to accommodate, or else you just went down. Right. Now you don't. Yeah. You flip a switch and
you add like 10 more racks right there.
That's it. Yeah.
Virtually.
That
is cool. So as you're scaling a business, how do you do it? How many employees do you have now?
So fast forward to today, we're probably around 55.
Wow.
Yep. All based here in Reston, Virginia. And and it's been this nice, this nice doubling year over year, basically. So 2009, we had one person, just doubled revenue, doubled headcount. And so it's been a very, it's just been a very organic growth, great people, and nothing's falling apart, which is wonderful.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
I hate it when that happens.
That's not good. So as you're building and growing, how do you find the right employees? How do you give trust to whoever's hiring, or how do you let go of your thing to allow somebody else to drive the ship in one way or another?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think
I'm just asking for myself, really.
Man, I'll tell you, my first hire was one of the scariest things I'd ever done in business, because I knew how to market products, I knew how to sell things. These were like things I was confident doing. Figuring out how to hire a person scared the shit out of me, right? But it got easier and easier. Like as soon as I hired one great person, and I was like, for that first person, so selective in finding this person who's gonna be a good fit, personally shared the same vision in building this really cool company. And I think the reason that we've been very successful, like if you walk around and talk to our team, they're awesome. They're all super cool, hyper intelligent. And it's because we've never lowered the bar on hiring great people. And I think what that means is everyone here is really amazing in whatever area it is they focus, right? Whether it's content or customer service or, marketing, right? Mm-hmm. The slogan or the tagline that I use is, we hire people who deserve to have, oversized egos, but don't. And it's just that simple. And so we've also done a pretty good job of having a very, we have a culture here, and we have a set of values that everyone subscribes to. And it's not to say that everyone's the same. Like we have such diversity in the types of individuals we have here, but everyone shares the exact same goal, for what we're trying to do at this business, which is, provide premium creative content that everybody can afford, right? And be the first and only place a creative has to go when working on a project.
Right, and now you have, when did you add VideoBlocks?
So great question. So VideoBlocks went live officially 2011, beginning of 2011. In 2013, we launched graphicstock.com to basically test this concept of, hey, can we move into a new content type and use this same model? Will it work? And it worked really well.
Why is it called Graphic Stock and not Graphic Blocks?
I can tell you, actually. We surveyed our customers. And Graphic Stock and VideoBlocks were basically tests in, can you crowdsource the building of a business? So we asked them, first of all, would you ever buy a product like this? They said yes. We're like, great. What would you call it? And we had all these different names, and the customers actually voted and chose Graphic Stock instead of Graphic Blocks or Photo Blocks or any of these things. We even had the logo, right? We had all these logos designed on 99 Designs. Customers voted and chose. Color scheme, same situation. And original content. So it's kind of neat. So the answer is, the reason Graphic Stock is the way it is and VideoBlocks is the way it is because it's how the customers voted.
Nice.
Yep.
So where do you still shoot content?
Yeah, I do. So to me, it's a hobby, or a I don't know, or a compulsion. So I took a couple of years off from shooting at one point because I realized, hey, I should be focusing on building the business, on the management side of things. And what I found was I missed that creative expression, right? I feel like I honestly believe every person has some sort of inherent desire to create and share in some way, whether that's creating a podcast, creating art, creating photos. And for me, it was capturing video and distributing it. And so when I stopped shooting, I kind of lost a part of my soul.
Yeah.
So fast forward to today, though it's probably meaningless on the website. Whenever I travel, I've got a go bag with a red camera in it, tripod.
Oh, wait, hold on. My go bag, it has just a red in there. Is it an Epic?
No, Scarlet.
Oh, I mean, geez, it's only a Scarlet.
Yeah.
All right, that's okay.
But here's why it's okay, because the bag's like maybe 40 pounds.
Yeah.
But I lug it around, so I feel okay about it.
That's okay then.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about hobbies because I struggle with the thing of hobbies.
Yep.
I love the business, love selling, and photography. I can never get away from doing it for too long.
Yep.
If I'm going too long, I get pissed off and I have to shoot.
Yep.
I have to and it doesn't have to be for the site, but then everything's like, well, if I'm going to shoot, I might as well make some content out of it. And then I get into that whole business mode. So are there actual hobbies? Does that exist?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's funny. I actively tried to find hobbies. I'm like, maybe stamp collecting or collecting coins, or I loved Hot Wheels as a kid. Still love Hot Wheels, but I found that just collecting things, like forcing myself to have a passion, didn't really work.
Right.
And then it all came back to your point. Like for me, it was videography. Though I will say, in the last couple of years, I've gotten a lot more into photography. Oh. Which is something that I had never given enough credit to. Right. I kind of looked at photography as backwards compatible with video.
Right.
I'm like, I'm shooting 30 photos in a second. That's like 30 times harder. And it's not.
No, it's not.
Right. So what I realized very quickly when I started trying to shoot photo was you've got to capture the entire essence of a scene and get a whole story in one frame.
And you can't make up for it in editing. Well,
right.
You can't fix certain things. Well, oh God. You can make some changes, but with video, we know that a lot of video can be saved when it comes to a great editor.
Yeah. And just the sheer fact there's motion in video adds this like visual stimulation that lets you get away with a little extra. Like you can capture a waterfall, the waterfall speaks for itself.
Right.
But if you're taking a photo of that waterfall, somehow you have to capture the power and the beauty in a still shot, and it's a lot more difficult.
Right. So how are you finding new content for both the free side and then the new thing that you launched, the marketplace?
Yeah, great question. So VideoBlocks, to your point, now has two libraries. The Unlimited library, which has 115,000 clips and growing. So this is basically like I'd equate it to Netflix originals or Amazon originals, where we are going out finding content that our customers are searching for. So we'll look through the logs and say, hey, we need more footage of Brazil.
Oh, I hope you haven't found some of the things we've searched for.
Hey, we get 3 million searches a month, and if it's been searched for, like we've looked at it.
Oh, you'll know. I'm going to make sure you know that you're going to find our searches.
Excellent. Good. I mean, you might find the clips. So the idea is if it's searched for enough, we try to go out and find it, buy it, and put it on the website. So we'll spend, I think we've spent millions of dollars to date actually going out, paying videographers to buy rights to their content to drop into this library. And then if you're a member, right, you pay your $99 a year, you can download as much as you want from that unlimited library. Go nuts. One of the things our customers were saying to us, it was, hey, we love the unlimited library. For $99 a year, we just have to find 2 clips and we're in the money. Right? So we find the value, but we still have to jump over to Shutterstock and Pond 5 and your other competitors when we need something very specific. And so the ask was, could you guys give us a deeper library? And we had this radical concept of, hey, what if we made a marketplace where you have to be a member to access it, right? But if you're a member and you've paid your $99, then we don't need to make money off of every purchase in that marketplace. So let's give all the money back to the creators, right? That was radical because, you look at a company like Shutterstock, and this is kind of industry average, they keep 70% of every sale. So if you upload a bunch of video, someone buys it, they keep 70%, give you 30%.
Right.
So we said, well, that's interesting. If we let the contributor keep 100% of the money, we could actually drop the price of those video clips by 40%. So Shutterstock, they charge $79 a clip. We'll charge $49 a clip for the same stuff. But when it sells, we'll let the creator keep it all, so they'll make twice as much money every time. Meanwhile, our customers save money, so they're pumped. They'll renew at a higher rate, which is great for us. So we made this announcement in April. This past April, we launched the marketplace, and we've had over 300,000 clips contributed already. which is very exciting.
And so this is an opportunity for anybody with a camera,
Anybody.
no matter where you live,
Yep.
to just go, create, place it,
Yep.
and possibly make some money.
Totally. And I'll say this, like, first of all, as a creator, there's never a cost to join VideoBlocks. So if you're out there shooting, right, you've already got your DSLR, you've got a video camera, whatever it is, like shoot a little extra B-roll, right? Get some beauty shots of a sunset or some establishing shots. Go to contribute.videoblocks.com, create a free account. Again, you never pay a dime. Upload your material. We review it, and if it gets approved, it goes right into the search results. And as soon as it sells, the money comes straight to you.
Now, do you have a page that has what we're looking for? Like a list of, this is highly searched and we need
Yeah.
content like this.
So it's a great question. That's being worked on. So we launched the marketplace in April. We're now very quickly trying to build these additional like valuable features for contributors. That's one of them.
Yeah.
To actually look and say like, what should I shoot? Right? Like, what are people looking for?
Yeah.
That's going to be very valuable.
That's going to help. I mean, it's great that you aren't looking for money from that, because you know that your value comes from the subscription.
Yep.
And the longer that you have people there, the happier they are. If they can find things at less money than going somewhere else, it's just going to pay off in the long run.
So the first value at VideoBlocks that everyone, we came up with and all subscribe to is, when the community wins, we win. And I do think that's true, right? By giving the creators an opportunity to make more money and never charging them a dime, we're going to have the best content, which means the customers are going to have access to the best content at the best prices. So I do think it's interesting. A lot of companies say, hey, it's all about the customer, sometimes at the expense of the supplier. And I think that we've changed it around a bit to say, make your creators happy, right? The shooters happy. And as a byproduct, customers will be even happier. Everybody can win.
So how do you decide what's going to go into the pay, like what you're going to buy to put into the $99 subscription version versus what stays in the marketplace?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, the marketplace is very, it's a free market economy. So you can, people can submit anything, and if it's worthwhile, people buy it, right? So it's a very natural supply and demand situation. And we have some really interesting stuff come in the door. On the unlimited library side, we have a team of analysts that look through the search queries every month and say, hey, we really need more motion backgrounds, or we really need more, footage of West Africa, right? So they'll actually try to build a model to predict the value of this content, to say, okay, how much could we spend to buy a library as it relates to retaining customers and acquiring new customers? What's the value? And then they'll go out, try to find existing material and make an unsolicited offer. And that topic changes every month, right? Every month it's something different. Things like After Effects templates have become very popular. So we've invested a fortune in going out and finding the After Effects creators to buy content from.
What about, I just had an idea, maybe you've had the idea too, but as a marketing, social media, some kind of campaign, it's two guys or one guy or girl or whoever that their task is just to travel the world. You do that, you get them out there, people can follow along with the content that they're making, and so not only do you get the story aspect of following them, I shouldn't tell you this. I should do it. No, I should, but you get the
By the
picture.
way, you should do it, and you could be, we would love to tell your story.
Well, I'll show you something that nobody has seen except for the two, well, Steven's seen it. Well, Steven was there in the Grand Canyon. We'll show you some stuff.
Yep.
Oh, you should see some of this footage that we got of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I saw the photos on your website.
Yeah.
And so this is where, if I didn't have to play the role of CEO, I'll be honest, like, I own an RV and I take that RV all over the country shooting. I would do it full time.
Well, we should connect you with the adventure-driven people.
Be amazing.
Because they put the excursions together. They do Baja. Yep. They stay on some private beach down there, and then they have the Grand Canyon, and they're even doing an Alaska one where they take you out to Alaska. And it's more glamping. I like glamping.
It's fine. Hard shell camping. Yeah. It's all good.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So anything you want to leave people with about what's the future? What do you envision? What's the plan?
Yeah. So
the exact plan that you tell the board when you walk in there.
So I think that the plan we tell the board is the same thing we tell the employees and the same thing we tell the community, which is we want VideoBlocks to become the first place a creator goes when they start a project, right? Like here's a sequence. You open your MacBook Pro, right? You boot up Adobe Premiere, you pull up VideoBlocks, and you start editing, right?
Yeah.
And you go to VideoBlocks to find all those nice little supplementary files. It'll never replace your narrative. It's never going to be as good as,
It's glue.
It's glue. That's it, right? Like you want to have a nice time lapse, rising, sun rising over New York City. You could go spend hours shooting that yourself or grab it from us, right? And you can go back to focusing on your narrative and the stuff that you're killing it with.
Right.
So that's the goal, man. Like the goal is to become the first and only place creators have to go. We're a membership organization. And so the way I look at us, do you have an Amazon Prime subscription?
Yep.
Yeah. I want there to be a day when I can ask everybody, hey, do you have a VideoBlocks subscription? And the answer is, well, of course, because I create things.
Right.
And if you create things, you've got to have a VideoBlocks subscription because it gets you this unlimited library. It gets you this marketplace. By the way, we have all these new initiatives coming out soon with different content types, whether it's graphics or audio or eventually photos. Soon we're going to have a ton of really cool stuff to go with the already great library we have. So if you're a creator, you go, of course I have a VideoBlocks subscription. That's the first place I go.
Right. No, it's all good. So we'll pretty much wrap it up there. But if you want to check out more stuff about VideoBlocks, you can go to my link, which is videoblocks.com/go/fro, audioblocks.com/go/fro, and graphicstock.com/go/fro, where you can get a 7-day trial or just outright buy it for the $99 straight up, which is what I kind of recommend doing.
It's a good deal.
It's a great deal. You can try it out, or you could just really go for it. And if you don't like it, which I highly doubt you won't like it, you can definitely let you know, and you'll tell them what you don't like, and they'll make it right for you. But we also will have a contest coming out soon that relates to all 3 of the services, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So pay attention for that. But thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having us at your office.
Dude, I'm pumped you guys came down. It's
Yeah.
really neat to have you here. And the other thing I'd say is if your viewers want to make money, they can go to contribute.videoblocks.com and start selling stuff.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt. All right. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yep. So I love that interview.
Oh, great interview, man.
I know that you don't really, you listen to some of it because you're always monitoring or watching the cameras.
So usually when you're doing an interview, I typically don't pay attention because I'm paying attention to the audio and the cameras, making sure that's all perfect.
Right.
But go on.
So I love listening to what Joel had to say.
Yeah.
Because it's the business aspect of it. When I ask questions, I'm asking questions that I want to know answers to.
I could tell.
Because it's for me.
Yeah.
It's for everybody else, but I think that I have good questions, and it's I want the knowledge.
It's
I seek
interesting
the knowledge.
stuff.
Right. So hearing about him talk about hobbies, because everybody's like, Jared, you need a hobby.
Yeah.
No, I don't need a hobby. I love what I do. I don't want to do other stuff, really. And he talked about the same thing, how he could find another hobby, but it felt like he was forcing it to be a hobby.
Well, what was he saying? He puts his red Scarlet in his bag and just kind of still pops it out whenever he wants.
Right, when he wants to get the
Which
urge.
is still
'cause
kind
he
of
still loves,
like his hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, still love creating
His hobby.
content.
Yeah.
But the business becomes the thing that you love.
Yeah.
Also, so you have to continue doing what you're doing. But that is awesome. Really great interview. And I think now it's time to move on to flying solo.
Let's do it.
So we have a live audience, which means we do some live flying solos. And we had some
Very
1,
rare.
2, maybe 3 that got submitted. I think I read some today while we were already here, so I couldn't print them out. But the first one here that was submitted was Edward A. What's the A stand for? Araya? A-R-I? Yeah, that. A-R-Y-A-A. A-R... Well, yeah, you might as well, Jason, you might as well give him the mic just in case I yell at him, because I don't remember the question. Here it is. Are more focal points in a camera a marketing thing, or does it really matter? With post-production tools, we can manipulate blur... Unbelievable. Edward. Manipulate blur after the fact. So do the number of focal points really matter? Are 3 focal points better than 31 focal points? First off, I don't want to manipulate anything like that after the fact. I think that is... If you can do... that's one thing you really want to do in the camera. Manipulating blur, it's not real.
Some people can do it.
It's not real.
Well, yeah, it's anything
not real.
Anything after the fact
Right.
is not real.
But to answer your question, yes, more focal points in the camera do mean something. Like when Canon has 61 focal points and 61 of them are cross type, which means it's taking readings from the... Oh, I just Jesused everybody. when they're cross typed, that's better for focusing because it's picking up multiple planes to help you focus. So the more cross-type sensors mean more than just focal points. So that's my answer to that.
Okay, good.
All right, Jay. Who's next? Question? You have a question? You're sitting right next to him? No? Oh. All right, yes.
I'm Michael. How you?
I'm good, Michael. Don't yell too loud into it. It's right by your mouth.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, what is the easiest and best way to get into concert photography?
Well, first it's to call Live Nation and offer to do it for free. No, the easiest. Look, I've said this a million times, and I don't know by me making that video if that's going to hurt new people trying to shoot concerts. But if you really want to do it, anybody can do it. I say the easiest way is you start your own music blog and start something online, or find a blog that will send you out. But keep in mind, these blogs aren't paying money either. So I know a lot of people want to shoot for free because they want to get into shows. Maybe this Live Nation thing may do away with that, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, because perpetuating the free, like these blogs have to pay people, but they don't make enough money. If you want to get into shows, start your own blog and then request passes. It's that simple. You find the information online. The easiest bands to get in for are the middle-of-the-road bands.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get in for U2 right off the rip. And even if you do get into U2, who gives a shit? You're shooting from the soundboard. It sucks.
Yeah.
If you want to get access, you want to get in with bands, you get in with the smaller bands now.
Baby bands.
Because those are the ones that and you become friends with them, that if they do become big, you now have access to the stuff that you wouldn't be able to get access to before. Good? All right, so if you do have questions, everybody raise your hand if you have a question so that Jason can figure out who to walk to next. And you have to ask questions. We can't just have 2 questions. I'll be really pissed off. There we go, back there. Hi, your name is?
Samantha.
Hi, Samantha.
Hi. So this past year, I decided to try all sorts of different photography. And I thought I was going to be like the landscape photographer. Then I realized I actually like people, even though I don't like people. So I like portraits. So this is more of a personal question for you. Like, when did you figure out what you liked?
When did I figure out what I liked?
Yeah, like when you got into sports photography or concerts.
Oh, well, sports was it right from the rip. I loved sports. Sports was everything to me. I lived it. I breathed it. I loved hockey. So what I always wanted to do was shoot the Flyers. And that was, the passion. It was what I was passionate about at 14 years old, 13, 14, 15 years old. And that's why I did that. But after a while, it started to become boring. Not boring, but it's like, where am I going to go shooting the same picture over and over again? It's like, don't these photographers like Bruce Bennett, who's been shooting for 40-some years, don't you get bored of shooting the same game over and over?
He doesn't, though.
No, he doesn't, and we interviewed him before. But like, at what point do you get? There's only so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
So I like capturing people. I like shooting people. I don't like people, like you said.
He hates me.
I don't hate you, Steven. No, I why I like shooting people is because it's usually I find it fun to capture people in their natural environment, to help tell a story. To me, landscapes, like we shot at the Grand Canyon, lovely. I think the shots are amazing that I got. I'm really happy with them, but I could do without it. It's like it doesn't grab me. I'm not a nature person who wants to go sit out and wait for 17 hours for the perfect sky to show up, which is honestly how I got lucky with that last photo. That photo we took was 5 minutes before we rolled out and a huge storm rolled in, but I got really lucky.
We were literally leaving. Like, we were all packing up. I had everything in the car, and we're like, Jared, screaming your name, and you're
like,
still
I'm
taking
shooting.
pictures.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But
and you ended up getting probably the best shot right then and there.
That is, and that's what happened. And so it just, for people, I just like telling stories, and that's really what I like doing in photos. So, yeah. You got to go with what you like. Now you have a question. Edward had the microphone, and now you... All right, let's get it over here. We have another one back there? Okay.
Yeah, my name's Jared. How are you?
Your name is?
Jared.
Is that my name?
Jared?
Exactly.
How do you spell it?
Jared.
Oh, well, that's how I spell it.
That's crazy.
Two
Oh,
of
my
a kind.
God. The same... Thank you for spelling it the right way.
We're good. We all know your story and how you went to photography college. With so much information on the internet now, do you think it's feasible for people to go, or should we just start learning on our own?
So we get asked this question quite often.
Yes.
Everything good down there with that?
Yep.
So we've seen this in multiple ways. I know people that have gone to 2-year schools, and I know people that have decided to not go to school and they've forgone it, forgotten it, right?
You aren't sure every time you say that word.
They forgo it.
I don't know.
They forgo it. Don't ask me how to. Is it Forego? It? Nobody knows how to spell here either.
GEO? Forgio?
It's French for go, like Figaro.
Answer the question. I don't care.
So this is tough. I think when you go to a school, if you went to Antonelli Institute, it's a 2-year school. You're getting real world experience. You're paying for it, but you're getting experience so that when you come out in 2 years, they have you shoot with 4x5s. You process film. You develop in the darkroom. You have composition classes. You have photojournalism classes. You have business classes. You have fine art classes. You have lighting and portraiture. So when you come out of school, you've done a lot of these things. So if you don't go to school and you just read stuff online, you've read and you really don't have the same experiences or mentors showing you what to do. Now, that's not saying that school is for everybody. You can find a lot of information online, but what you really need to do is you need to just shoot and try everything. And that's what you're paying for at a school, is they're telling you what to do so you can try to discover what you like, but you can have a better job at doing everything that you do. I honestly don't think a 2-year photography school is the answer anymore. If you're going to go to school and you want to go for photography, I would find a huge-ass 4-year school. I'd get on the yearbook or newspaper. I would shoot for them. I wouldn't even go for a full photography degree. I would make sure I have a business degree, a marketing degree, photography, something with graphic design. Just broaden your horizons, but you have to have business. You can throw an education degree in there while you're at it. Not even full degree. Just take the classes and everything that you can to get to be well-rounded. Because what I think a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of photographers who have become successful weren't photographers in the first place. They were business people. They made money elsewhere, and they were able, or their wives or husbands, depending on who's shooting, have supported them while they've done it. So not everybody makes it as a photographer, but if they've had a business that's been successful and they want to become a photographer, they've been able to support themselves long enough to finally make it. So I think I didn't go to a 4-year school. I went to a 2-year school. But if I was to go to a 4-year school again, and I love shooting sports, if I went to Penn State, because that's where everybody went in my area. If you went to Penn State or Ohio State with 50,000 students there, do you know how many opportunities you have? You've got every sport team, both male and female. You have academics to photograph. There's so much going on, but you have so many people to learn from. And then you come out with that huge alumni thing where you can go down that list and find other people and
Especially
other jobs.
Penn State.
Well, yeah, because that's it. It's like alumni. Oh, you need a job in X, but I have photography skills. I have take video too. Does that make sense?
Well, these days, especially.
Jared, did I answer it good? All right, good.
I think, too, with businesses, like you said, that's definitely something you want to either minor in or just take a couple classes. That's something I failed to do while I was in college. I was more the production-heavy classes, sound communication 1 and 2, film production 1 and 2, advanced film production, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I learned all the production-heavy side, but when it comes to the business side, I was not good at that, and I'm still not good
Advertising,
at that.
marketing,
Exactly.
branding.
Now the other thing is when I went to Rowan University, which is a pretty big 4-year school now. It's in southern New Jersey, but photo editor for the newspaper was very easy to get involved with. Every other semester or every semester they would put out a listing saying we need a new photo editor because the person graduated or something like that. It was very easy to come by, but you also got access to everything.
Well, here's the thing.
It's a great experience.
And don't go to these schools and expect to get paid to do the photos. Just go and learn.
Yes.
Look, if they're gonna, some of these
Take it for
places
what
are
it
gonna
is.
supply you some major gear, and if you're with a huge 4-year school, get in with the girls volleyball team because they're hot. I mean, and girls swimming, and if you're into men's swimming and men's volleyball, who cares? The reason I say you can, if you get in with, if you're a guy interested in women. Either way, doesn't matter. Girls softball, at least you have a 50% chance of making it with one of them, usually. I'm just offending everybody right now. But it's equality. It's okay. No, the reason I mentioned the different types of sports is because the first year, you may not be touring. You may not be traveling with the football team. But you may have an opportunity with the girls' softball team to travel with them or the girls' volleyball team because they have the same rights as the men. It's all that equal. Everything's equal in school. So that's why it's good. Like my buddy Dave Leno used to travel with the girls' softball and girls' volleyball teams because he would announce the games.
He's good at
So
it.
that, man,
very good at it.
I'm making myself want to go to a 4-year school.
Kid.
Yeah. I go to dinner. We have dinner every once
You
in a
make
while.
him announce while you're at
I
dinner?
do. I'm like, Dave.
Give me a run by run.
And he's like, this Big Ten softball game is brought to you by Schick. Do you want smooth legs? Use Schick.
Jared's plate comes out. Here comes the shrimp. Here
Here it
comes the steak.
Chicken
And for the
parmesan
win.
and yes.
Dessert.
Very good, Steven.
I try.
So that's my rant. That's not a rant, but that's what I feel. I mean, did I just inspire somebody to go to a 4-year school? I mean, it sounds theoretically it sounds good.
I think you just wish you went to a 4-year school.
I don't want to change anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big fan of playing the what if game.
Yeah.
But that was always that, like, a 4-year school. If just be an unbelievable opportunity, especially for photographers.
You just gotta hustle. You gotta want it. That's what it comes down to.
All right, next.
Yes, this message actually is for Steven.
Oh, hey.
I know.
What's up?
I know audio is vital to what you guys do. What post-production platform do you prefer, and about how much time do you spend a week in post-production period?
Okay, so, excuse me, I have to talk this way to the microphone for the audio.
This way.
So I use Adobe Audition personally. I've always used it from Cool Edit and on. For those that are Adobe Audition fans, Adobe actually bought Cool Edit, and it's the same platform, and now it's on Audition 6.0? CC. It's Audition CC. Anyway, I use that for editing. RAWtalk every week probably takes me about an hour and a half, depending on how much Jared sings, if I have to go in there and add reverb or anything like that, or if we have Todd and I have to go in and actually mix down his vocals separately to make sure that there's basically, I kind of go in and mute in between each one, do a complete mix down. So Adobe Audition, about an hour and a half each week. Then I bring it to Premiere, and then from there, export the whole RAWtalk video. Hopefully that helped. But Adobe Audition, for me personally.
So one thing we forgot to talk about, how about that Todd guy?
Todd.
Did anybody enjoy Todd by a round of applause?
Hey, Jared.
Wait,
Todd for the win?
If you want more Todd, show us why you want more Todd. I want to hear it.
Todd.
That is terrible. Nobody wants Todd. When I say you're supposed to be like, yeah, we want Todd.
Todd, woo.
Brought an extra layer and an extra dimension to the show.
Yeah.
It was just that little kick here and there.
Yep.
An extra person to make fun of me?
Yeah. No, Todd's quick.
Sense of humor.
He's very quick.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if we get him back into the chair. Go ahead.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Hey, Jared. I'm Kevin. Stephen, hi. So I went and did the 4-year degree, college, UVA, and had the experience of shooting for the paper, Cavalier Daily, Wahoo. So this is kind of interesting for me and from that standpoint, but I dropped it all afterward to basically, fund travel, send the money, Dad, sell my equipment, and did that, and then got into IT and didn't really need to think about pursuing a career in photography, but always liked it. And so now, I guess about 5 years into being a DSLR dad, and so the guy that will go to the soccer games and get the good pictures and things like that. And it's one of those things where I don't have enough time to really take away from my day job career in IT to pursue a career in this because of all the. I could shoot a wedding for 3 hours, but I couldn't do with all the post processing and stuff like that. Or I could shoot a party for my Gambian friends who have these big giant blowouts and nobody gets good pictures of, or something like that. And I guess my question would be, what could you conceive of as a solution for folks like me? Because there's a lot of guys, I think, in IT who can afford good good equipment and are really good photographers, but they're not going to really go all in with their photography business impulses because there's not enough time.
Well, do you want to or not?
I would love to just sort of
have fun,
hand off all the post-processing to Steven or Steven.
That's what always happens.
But what I'll say though is, I don't turn my photos over to anybody.
Photos, no. Everything else.
Well, video, yes. Photos, that's part of your style. Like, you figure out your own style, you edit.
Makes it unique.
For me, the fun of one of the best things about shooting is when I can sit there and process my images and see them come to life, because that's where they do come to life.
Sometimes, I mean, for me, I guess I edit in the camera. I've got the eye. I get. It's usually people, action, stuff like that. It doesn't need a lot of editing to look good necessarily. But if I was shooting in RAW, which I don't. I just don't have
What do you
time.
say?
raw.
What do you say?
Apex.
Hey, Jason, grab the microphone.
I shoot
That's your
JPEG.
first issue.
Yeah, exactly.
But what are you looking for? What do you want me to say?
Well, the business idea that I have is some sort of company that maybe will organize all your photos, because like Ed and I've got the 10,000 pictures a year problem, tons and tons of pictures, gold in there. If somebody came in and organized it all for us, and then basically did it for free, but they knew there was you'd have to qualify.
For
I mean, they wouldn't
free.
just take anybody. If we suck, and maybe I suck by somebody's standards, but
Right.
let's say I don't suck, and they could monetize those pictures, and maybe give me back some of the family stuff. But if there's other stuff that I
Well,
shoot,
I mean, there's stock agencies. There are companies that will edit your stuff, but it's really meant to give it back to you. I personally can't say to anybody that you shouldn't edit your own photos. To me, I think it's a deal breaker. But I know you're doing it for fun. It's what you love. So if you want to stay shooting in JPEG and that's your thing, do that. But just hand your stuff over when it's done. Go through it. Don't tweak it. Just pick the winners and then give them to the people. Go out and shoot.
picking the winners is the bigger headache. I wouldn't
But it
mind
shouldn't be
editing
a
the
headache.
winners.
The winners pop themselves right out off the screen. You know the difference between a piece of crap and a winner.
See, I have so many winners, I can't pick them. That's the thing for me.
Is that all right?
I mean, I'm hoping somebody steals the idea, frankly,
All right.
so
well,
that I can then, and
so then
benefit from
you
that.
can use it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So, steal my idea.
I tried. Yes.
Lucas, I'm actually going to piggyback off of his comment with the tech job versus the photography. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry. Where he's going on with time, I'm looking at like recession or just the fact that photography always isn't, in my opinion, the most important thing that somebody would be paying for. Where technology, there's a lot of businesses that run off of it. Say a recession happens. And I guess I can ask you this. What do you do to prepare yourself besides savings and your business for something like a recession?
What I don't worry about it. I mean, yes, everybody has to have the rainy day fund, but so here's the other misconception with photographers is that all we do is shoot and that's the only way we make money. I will say that in business, most companies, I think for the quote I've heard is like 6 or 7 different revenue streams. So there has to be other things to fall back on. That's why when I hear somebody say, I want to, I like my day job or I hate my job and I want to become a full-time photographer and I'm just going to jump and do it, I think it is one of the worst things you can do, because I think having that day job and then the ability to shoot on the side and make extra cash and put it in your pocket is a great option. And a lot of photographers have done that for a long time. And you don't quit your day job until you have so many jobs the other way for photography that you can afford to quit your day job and know that if something happens, you're okay. But sometimes you need to have that job and find time to do the photos. And it may mean working a lot harder, but it also means that you're putting an extra car payment in your pocket, an extra mortgage payment in your pocket each month. That's going to go a hell of a long way to making you happy because you love what you're doing. Because a lot of photographers or people that make the jump to think that they're going to become a professional photographer sit there and go, well, I don't love it as much as I did now that I'm doing it full time. So what was the question again? Am I answering this sort of?
Yeah, but it's also,
He doesn't have a mic now.
said another question, though.
All right, can we get the mic over there? Yeah.
Yeah, you've kind of answered it. You're doing multiple things, but as a business, does that confuse your customers too? Because I do a lot of things, and it tends to say, a lot of people tend to be like, is there anything you don't do? But at the same time, you kind of want to do everything to keep
you have
revenue coming in.
Well, you have to. I mean, obviously, it's within reason. For my business, if you want to talk about what's recession, I don't know if people aren't buying stuff. I mean, I think with the internet business type model, you are drawing from such a large audience, aka the world, that you're always going to be able to do something enough to make something. And so that's if I want to do a sale for 50% off the video guide, I'm going to generate some revenue from it for people that want to save money and think that they could use the information, and they're going to jump at that option. And then for me, I'm okay. And asked me that 5 years ago, I had nothing. Before the website, I'm sitting there with almost nothing, living at my dad's house, shooting some weddings, but not making nearly any money, just enough to pretty much get by and and maybe have like $1,000 or $2,000 in the bank account. And that's where I came from. So, now I think that the internet type business is at a place that it can generate revenue while we sit here, because I could be selling products while we sit here, just people finding the site. And for me, it's diversification across multiple platforms, which I'm working on right now. We're doing another project that will diversify me even further and open up my brand to millions of more people that may not have encountered me before. So it's just, for me, it's diversification in photography or on the online world, but related to photography, that spreads it out, that if one thing goes, like if YouTube was to go away today, would I be okay? I think so, because I've got my personal email list to reach people. I have Facebook video and everything to reach people, and I'm going to have this other outlet in a matter of a couple of weeks that is going to reach even more people than a lot of things. So diversification for me is the answer. Cool. A couple more.
Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm a high school teacher here in Virginia.
Nice. What do you teach? Gym?
No, Eastern View. I teach at Eastern View, and I'm a yearbook advisor.
Wait, what do you teach?
In Culpeper, Virginia.
No, not where, what?
I'm a yearbook advisor, so I have yearbook classes.
Wait, that's a class?
Yes.
It's not like homeroom or math or science?
Called Foundations of Yearbook Design.
That is a class?
Wow.
Yes, that is a class.
Sounds like a cool class.
You have a class teaching that?
Yes.
Did you win the lottery?
I think so. And part of my question is, I have a photography unit where I teach high schoolers about photography. And my main question is to you is, what do you think are some tips or advice to teaching high schoolers about photography, and precisely about candid photography? Because that's what, in your book, we want candid photographs in the academic side, athletics, and student life sections.
That's the real deal stuff.
So that's kind of what you do, but we are doing it way at a smaller scale because it's the high school level.
Sure.
What if you were going to speak to high schoolers, or a way that I could tell them?
I'd love to speak to high schoolers. That stuff's fun.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
With you.
Well, I've talked to some classes all around the country that we do like these Skype calls with the entire class, which is usually fun.
Yeah.
What would I do to help the kids? I mean, I would look at the past. I would look at some of the photos that the greatest photojournalistic photos that you've seen, and just show them to people. Show them great sports images that have nothing to do with the sport, but have everything to do with the sport. Get people to start seeing it. If you show them what it looks like and go, that's what you're looking for, then they can start to figure out what makes a snapshot, what makes an image versus a snapshot. And so for me,
what tells a story?
Well, it's all about storytelling. So you can hold it unless I got other, I don't know. I may have, all right. Does that make sense for now? Yeah. So I would just, look, you have these kids. This sounds like is it a fun class? The kids enjoy it? Oh, yeah. So the kids enjoy this class, and I would just take them all out. Take a group of them out to a game, to the fields, and just say, let's do this. Let's look for the image. You know what? Give them all negative carriers, slide carriers, to see the world, or whatever. See, just something that has a hole in it, the size of a frame, and just let's frame this up. Do you see the kid kneeling there, getting ready to go into the game, playing soccer? How about a shot of that? Because look, the coach is in the background, going to be out of focus. So for me, it's not as much teaching the fundamentals. I mean, the fundamentals is where it's at. But I can honestly tell you that I was in Running Man mode auto for a long time out of high school, because all I focused on was capturing the moment. It didn't matter if the exposure was wrong. It didn't matter if any of that was wrong. As long as you could see that I had the composition and the eye to capture something, that was the most important to me. And that was the most important. I think that's the thing that a lot of people forget, is that it's when you first start, you want to put a camera in a kid's hands, put it in full auto, put it in JPEG. It doesn't matter. Go out there and shoot the world, and then sit with them and go through the images on the computer. That's another thing to do, is put them on the computer and sit there with the crop tool and say, do you see how far away you are? Do you see how much better this would be if we did this composition? Do you see how it changes from X to Y by just doing this? And it's all about repetition and seeing it. The more that you see it and show it, I can't see them not seeing it in their head when they're out there shooting, listening to you go, oh, that's what Mr. So-and-so said I should do, and it's just going to ring in their head. And I can teach anybody the exposure triangle any day of the week, but I can't teach the composition. It's harder to get the creative eye and the composition down. That was a good answer. Holy shit. Thanks for that. That was really good.
It's kind of like Joel was saying in the interview earlier, where he was saying he went from video to photography, and how video, he had the freedom to capture everything in the scene in, infinite, he could just keep capturing.
Yeah.
Where stills, he realized you have to capture the entire scene in one photo. If you teach him that kind of mindset, I think you'll have a good image.
Yes.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
All right, so my question is, do you feel that it's necessary to add value to every client, like how you do the photo books for a Bedia, or are there certain situations where it's just one and done?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, look, any form of added value will go a long way. Even it just goes a long way because it may not, even here, if you had a trouble client and you still delivered them a book and they put that coffee table book on their coffee table and their friends picked it up and see how great it is, they may want to call you.
You never know who their friends are.
That's the added value that I see. Or a couple of prints, things that don't cost you a lot of money, where you go that extra step. Oh, here, I'll deliver it to you. I'll give you the SD card. Just keep it. That's cool. Use it as something else. That's fine. I think added value is extremely important. Even if you didn't like the people, you don't know who their friends are, and you don't know what may come out of it later.
I was going to say, or who they're going to become.
Right. Why? They stop being a dick? Oh,
if they're just starting out and you do a photo shoot for them or something, and then later down the road they become some...
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Right. You never know where they're going to end up.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yes.
Is that a good answer? All right. How many? Who else?
I'm back here. Hi, guys. My name's Bart. I actually met you guys out at NAB in Vegas briefly as we were both running around, lugging cameras and running all over the place.
Love it, right?
Good to see you guys again.
Me too, man.
Were you late?
Yes, I was.
Did you email me about being late?
I sent you a tweet.
Okay. Somebody said they would be late. I said it's okay.
What, are you going to hit him with a roller now
No,
or something?
I
I was like,
it's
do I have to
okay.
go? Do I not get to?
No, I just figured he's standing by the door, which means he snuck in late.
I did. But I actually don't shoot still photos. I'm actually primarily a filmmaker, director of photography, as they call it.
DP.
That's why you have a Ronin shirt.
That's why I have
Makes
a Did
sense.
you Ronin shirt and all that.
Did you?
But I love watching all your videos and everything because even more these days than it used to be in the past, so much, I'd say 90% of the stuff that you guys are talking about for photography applies to video as well. And there's so much I can learn. You guys are putting out news of stuff that relates to me in filmmaking, and I'm checking that out, and we're all over the place. But I wanted to know if you guys had any plans to dive a little further into video beyond the scopes of just DSLRs, or if that's too far outside of your photography realm.
Sure. So, yes, I see diving into more video type things, but I don't want to lose the photography aspect, which I don't think we have by creating the DSLR video guide that we did, by creating the editing guide. I think it's a natural transition for photographers to want to shoot video because we have the options to do that, and it also becomes another revenue source, which we've talked about before.
Huge revenue source.
So having somebody like Todd around who's directed movies and videos, and having our buddy Matt Jaffe who does music videos and
a lot of reality
unbelievable
TV.
lighting, so he does DP stuff as well.
He came from lighting.
You can't say DP and then that in the same sentence.
Nope.
No, that's horrible.
Yep.
And so then, yes, I see moving into video like Ronin. If we got a DJI Ronin, which they're supposed to send me, we're gonna go do a video with it. I won't tell you what it is, but we're gonna go do a video with it. So I don't have a problem doing like reviews of those products or giving it to Todd and Matt and saying, review this for me, and then give me the bullet points so that we can go put it to test and see what you like, the pros and the cons and the things. It makes my life easier because that's what a lot of it is time. So if you have a couple of people doing this, and we can pump out that information more, and then that will be beneficial to everybody. So yeah, I think we'll get a little further into it, but we're not losing photography aspect.
Yes.
Cool. Very cool.
But that's what Todd has been. Todd hasn't made a lot of those videos. He started to make videos.
He's been more the video aspect.
But remember, he made a bunch of videos, and then we got into shooting the show, and then doing other stuff. So he's had to edit the video guide. But one day we'll get back to doing more of that, or Todd will get back to doing
and the
more of
movie
that.
show one day.
The movie show, yeah. Well, I want to do. Anybody watch the
anyone
movie
watch
show when we did it? Frono's Movies.
Frono's Movies
We got one
podcast.
guy, 2 people, 3 people. Yeah. So we love movies, but we'll get back to that one day. All right,
was fun.
question?
Hi, my name is Henry. About a year and a half ago, I read your beginner's guide to getting out of auto. I'm out of auto. I'm shooting for a fine arts magazine now.
Nice.
And my question is, I shoot a lot of ballet, and on stage there's constantly changing lights, like shooting a concert. How do you deal with the constantly? I can't keep up shooting in manual a lot of times. I haven't switched to shutter priority or anything else, but how do you deal with that?
Well, first off, I really want to do ballet.
waiting for it.
Well, I do
It's
want
pretty
to.
awesome.
About today, you're like, I want to do that ballet video.
Well, I want to do one of our episodes of a show. I want to do ballet,
Yes.
like a 5-minute portrait, so I get to actually do ballet.
Have a tutu on.
So this is I would think it's like shooting a concert. How I deal with it is that the light I feel that shooting concerts it changes, but it doesn't change that much that you can't just ride the shutter speed to compensate. So if it goes from really like a blue light to a yellow light, it's going to be brighter. But I just simply ride the shutter speed. That's why sometimes I'm at 4,000 ISO or 5,000 ISO.
You switch
because
so quickly.
It gives me the chance to shoot a shutter speed of maybe 1/1000th of a second at f3.2 at 4,000 ISO, which most cameras today are capable of. Nobody can yell at me for that anymore. And then what happens is if it gets darker, one stop down is 500th of a second. Another stop is 250th.
You can still capture that motion.
Possibly, or you could pan with the motion of the ballet people, or you could bump it up a little more, open up to 2.8, get your other stop or another quarter stop, and you can still have fast enough shutter speed to freeze the motion. So for me, it's just riding the shutter speed. It's just about seeing the light and changing. I just know, like the cloud. You're outside, it's a bright sunny day. The cloud comes by, you just lost light, and you then anticipate, how much light did I lose? I'm going to dink, 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 move my finger in a couple of stops with the shutter speed and take the picture, and it's generally pretty close. So does that make sense?
Yes, completely. Yeah, because I find that I have to shoot everything at 1/500th of a second or faster to completely freeze it with bad lighting. And I can go down to 1/250th, if the lighting is good.
And it's still not bad to get some blur in there if you want to shoot some
good,
motion.
if the lighting's good, you'd be higher than 1/250th. It would go the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
But so make sure that if it's dark, your minimum shutter speed matches that 500th of a second, but other than that, you're prepared that it can be higher when it gets better.
Start at the maximum.
But don't overdo your ISO.
Yeah.
What camera do you have?
Canon 6D and 5D Mark III.
So he can overdo it.
You can shoot at 4,000.
Yeah.
You can shoot it right below 6,400 with that stuff. But with the right settings and enough light, you won't get grain. You won't get noise. It will look fine. So it's just a matter of the first thing that I always ride is the shutter speed. After that, if I need to tweak my aperture, I'm tweaking it. And the reason I shoot at 3.2 sometimes is because at 2.8, you may not have that leeway with your focus, and 3.2 may just give me something a little tighter. But after playing with that, that's when ISO comes into play. But the quickest things that you can change, shutter speed, aperture, shutter speed, aperture. They're the quickest things to change.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think too, once you really get into it and use your camera nonstop, you get to the point where you're switching it like blindly almost. You're not even looking at the settings, you're just switching it. You just know that you can switch the entire exposure triangle with just still looking at the viewfinder.
Well, right, you're looking through, and even that if your camera's set to a third stops for shutter speed,
you're like lightning fast.
One click is a third, two is a third, three is another third, and that gets you to your one stop.
Instead of having to actually read the meter, you can
you can just feel it. Like I just feel it. And that just becomes
it's like
a
because
shooting
you end up
thing.
walking in a room and you're like, this is about 6400 ISO 1 2.
Oh,
whatever.
I love guess the
guessing game.
guess the exposure game.
Yeah,
I play that with everybody.
Remember we did the game show the one time.
Yeah,
guess the shutter speed.
That was the sound of the shutter speed.
We should do a new game show and guess just the overall exposure.
That would be fun.
We should.
We should do.
Show up at different locations or something?
We should do that. Yeah. Oh, dude.
See what the meter says?
That's a great idea.
Pound it out.
All right. I came up with an awesome idea today. Steven, I got this idea. I think we should play Guess the Exposure, and we should go into different situations.
Awesome.
I say it all the time. Give credit to Steven.
Where it's due.
All right. So that's Flying Solo. Thank you guys for the questions.
Yes,
that brings us up to the Wheel of Fro.
Oh.
Do you want to put the Wheel of Fro on the table?
I guess I got it.
It's the first time
mini Wheel of Fro
that we've broken this bad boy out because we've traveled. This is the portable. Oh my God, did you hear the sound change? Just like when we're at home. This is the portable Wheel of Fro.
Squeegee?
Don't go too far back.
How about right there?
Right there. Yeah, you're good. So this is it. I guess I have to read what's on it.
Yeah. If
you good,
can read
Jason?
it with your
Everything's
eyes.
good? You haven't messed up? Has he messed up?
We'll find out.
Better not messed up, because this is good. This has been good.
It's a chair.
On the wheel, we have Borrow Lenses. That's a $250 gift card to Borrow Lenses. Squarespace, squarespace.com/fro. You can go there to get your 14-day free trial. On here, what does that say? VideoBlocks?
VideoBlocks.
Where's
what
the
happened
A?
to the A?
Who screwed up, Steven?
I didn't do it.
I did it.
You did it.
Well, it's because it was printed too large.
Yep.
That's AudioBlocks. You can go to audioblocks.com/go/fro to get your free trial. We will be having a contest about that, which I mentioned in the interview, an AudioBlocks, VideoBlocks, graphics.contest that anybody can enter, as well as there's other ways to enter for other prizes.
I feel like a giant with this
Small
tiny wheel. Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it's so small.
So small.
Black Rapid, you can get your Black Rapid strap. Here we have the question mark. If it lands
Switched
on
it
the question
up.
mark, you can win anything you want from the wheel. And if it does land there, I'm gonna let you get the Atomos Ninja 2.
Yes.
Just because they should.
Yeah.
So you should.
Yep. Just like
Fro-
spin the big wheel.
Right. Fro prize. That's any of my video guides or other. If you're here,
Your face.
Well, we could. Well, I only say that to certain people. Think Tank. You get a nice bag, which it landed on last week because Joe, the guy who pushed the buttons last week,
Yes.
he got a backpack. It's on its way.
Yes.
Lexar. We use Lexar cards. They are the official card of RAWtalk. We've got the SanDisk. That's great.
Good job.
Good job, Jared.
Good job.
SD
We've actually
cards.
got Santa.
No, they're SD cards. What I was trying to say is SD cards. We have the Lexar SD cards in these. We also have the
64 gig in
micro SD one back there, 64 gig. So those are the official cards that we use here. VideoBlocks.com/go/fro to get your trial of VideoBlocks. We got Lightroom Creative Cloud if it lands on that. Rode microphones, which we use here. What's that say? Adorama picks?
Says Adorama.
You get your Adorama picks credit to get some free stuff. All right, so it's time to spin the wheel, and then somebody's going to win.
Oh, I gotta do the spin the wheel, right?
Spin the wheel, but I got to try to figure this is like an awkward.
This is weird. Usually get up. Are you gonna do it right here?
Yeah, I'm gonna
move the
get
mic.
up. I'm gonna move the mic. You want to hold the table, just
Yeah,
in case?
Because it's.
Here, hold that too.
Oh God.
Hold my white lightning.
Tell me when.
You ready?
Ready? Spin that wheel. It's so awkward in person.
It's so hard to
With
spin it
everyone.
like this. Around and around it goes where it stops. Nobody knows the Wheel of Fro is going to stop on something because this one spins much faster. It's going to stop on AudioBlocks. And see, it's real.
Clearly, it's real.
It happens.
We didn't do it.
That happens.
That's great. That's funny.
That's good.
No, VideoBlocks.
VideoBlocks. Jason, do you have VideoBlocks? Yes. Oh, you suck. How many years have you been having it? Just one. Do you have VideoBlocks?
Not yet.
All right. Would you like? We're gonna get you a free year of VideoBlocks, and thankfully I don't have to ship it to you because we're already here. They can just give you an account for a year.
Boom.
Hey guys, can we get this account?
Make it snappy.
Thanks. All right, good, because Jason helped us out today.
Yes.
And he's going to help us
Thank
with
you,
the merch.
Jason. Thank you.
You get him a free year of VideoBlocks.com. Hey, you can't script it any better.
Can't.
You're such a sellout. You know the wheel. I mean, did you do this on purpose?
I didn't do it.
Are you happy with that? I am. You good? He's happy. All right. So, guys, did I forget anything, Steven?
I don't think so. I think that's the show.
That's the show.
I think.
This has been fun.
It
This
has.
has been fun. Awesome
Always.
interview. You guys enjoy the interview that you heard? Yeah, woo.
That nobody saw you.
Right. So, big thank you to Joel and
Huge.
everybody else here at VideoBlocks
Good people.
for having us down here to Reston, Virginia, to be in their headquarters to do a show and to interview them, because I absolutely love that interview.
You know what we didn't ask? Who traveled the farthest?
Who traveled the farthest?
We know Jeff over here.
Jeff,
traveled.
our guy.
He traveled quite a bit.
Jeff helps us with advertising and plugs.
Anyone over 6 hours?
How
traveled?
far?
6 hours by plane.
No, where'd you
Ooh,
come
man.
from? Oh, you suck. You literally you were serious about
Did you
that?
Tweet me? Did you tweet me about coming from Iceland? No. That was
You were
Scotland.
serious
Someone
about
from
that?
Scotland.
You were serious about
Wow.
coming from there just for this?
Just for this
No. What were you coming for?
face. Just for this?
Oh, the police and fire games.
So he's actually here for somebody.
Oh, well, I was going to screw you then.
That's still awesome, though.
That's awesome timing, though, right?
Did he fly in here in Virginia?
I don't know. Are your arms tired?
Baltimore. Okay, gotcha.
That's cool. Well, thank you for coming all the way. Where'd you come from?
Iceland.
Where? Reykjavik? Reykjavik.
Of Monsters and Men. are from
Reykjavik.
there. Anyone else top that? I'm going to take that as a
Anybody
no.
close in the United States?
Drove from Canada yesterday.
Who came? You came from Canada, eh?
I live here, but I was on vacation in Canada.
Oh,
Okay,
eh?
well,
He went to
still-
Canada.
That's quite a hike.
All right, so we got that. Thank you guys. Thank you all of you guys for coming, whether it was from 2 miles or 2,000
Yes.
miles. We really appreciate it. A big thank you, Jeff. Thank you for coming down, helping
Yes.
us out, and again, thank you to everybody at AudioBlocks,
Jason, thank you for helping out.
VideoBlocks, and Graphic Stock. And big applause. Let's give a big round of applause for you guys. Thank you for coming out. As we do with just about every mobile Raw Talk, I like to do our sign out.
Oh, yeah.
I will say my name. The only other person that can say at least half of the name is Jared back there. And so I'll say it, and then we'll do the sign off together, if you know the sign off. Yes. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, guys. So for all the photo news, stories, and more, you can go to fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-140. And that is where we will end the show. Jared Polin, fronosphoto.com. See ya.